Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 6th of April 2020. It's Monday today. Bali is very quiet. Luckily here in Bali they've decided not to put the island in lockdown, because this means that a lot of the farmers and a lot of the people who are dependent on traveling will have no income, which would be absolutely devastating. And so people are still moving around, engaging in social distancing, but life goes on in Bali, and I'm quite grateful for this. We're moving around. The kids' school opens today, so we're doing this homeschooling stuff, but we had like a bit of time in the countryside trying to kind of mix things up a little bit, and we're still away. We're by the sea. You might be able to hear the sea in the background. It's just nice to be around, and I mean, it's very quiet here in Bali. It's beautiful. So it's a very nice spot, like a lot of time for kind of contemplation and also worrying if you let that creep in. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful time. I think Bali was probably like this maybe 15 years ago, before all the tourists started to frequent the island. So it's a very special time here in Bali at the moment. But today I want to run through some of the indices, and I want to have a look at some pairs. And I can see the wind is blowing a little bit. I can hear that, and I apologize. I hope it doesn't interfere too much with the sound. My son took the sponge off my mic, and so it's probably crackling a little bit. But let's start off here by looking at the Australian index. You can see here we have this nice area of supply, and price has been gapping down, and we found a base here. And if we have a look at where this base nestled, you can see we poked into this accumulation candle right here. And this is interesting because if you look at this, I mean, you have these big pullbacks. The slingshots will pull back. We had another one. I mean, price goes straight to this one here, which is below this one. When price left here, we moved above these highs. Slingshot was pulled back. We pulled back the slingshot to the child, and now price came racing through the child and poked into the parent. The beginning of the buy zone was here. Okay, so price poked in there, and that's where we've found a bit of support for the time being. But looking for like a short scenarios, I mean, we can see a lot of option. We have, I mean, price has been gapping down because of all of this, because of the situation. But if we do have these nice, interesting areas that look quite appealing. We have this one here, which I think is quite nice. And this is interesting because, I mean, this is above all of this. Okay, so if we zoom in here, you can see this is the higher edge of this area of supply here. And note that we had a couple of areas here. We had this area here that was formed below this high. So here, so like this, okay. And then price came back, slingshot was pulled back, we went up, we had another test, boom, boom. And so you can see that we do have kind of an area here of demand, weekly demand, that was consumed by this area of daily supply. So this would be a really interesting area to entertain riding this further lower. Okay, let's have a look at something else. Let's have a look at the UK 100. Let's have a look at the big one, the monthly. I don't have any more data than this, but note here that we had something in here. We can't see what it is, but we can see that we had something that was tested 2 times. So there's something in here that was significant. We can't see what it was on the monthly, but there's something in here that was like a bit of value, discount price for this. Price poked into it a couple of times, and here we can see on the weekly chart what it was. We had this area of demand right here. Well, note that this is gone. This has been removed very quickly, and if you move this, either we'll leave it on there, we'll just take a new rectangle, mark off the whole area. It looks like this. So we have a weekly supply here. Let's go down to the daily and have a closer look. You can see pretty clearly. Oh, come on. So you can see pretty clearly what that area is. It's just up here. And if we refine that just a little bit, you can see this is we have the nice price came down, price of slingshot went back, and then we cut down. Okay, we have this area of supply here. We have this area here because the slingshot was pulled back to here. So we do have this area here, and we do have the daily area just above. It's going to mark off the whole area. Okay, so we do have these areas here that look quite interesting. So we probably will see a bit of a challenge to move beyond this point here. So this is going to be an interesting area. This is going to be essentially where the gap is closed. And so I think that we're going to see some interesting price reactions at this point here. So let's wait and see what happens there. Oops, wrong thing. Remove that. Okay, let's have a look at the S&P. Let me see if I can take my shirt and wrap it around the microphone. Okay, just tied my t-shirt around my microphone. I hope that helps because I could see the microphone is going bananas. Okay, if we have a look here at the S&P, we have a look on the monthly. Where do we go? We had this area here. This is a really nice turnaround point. Price tore through it. Let's mark off here. There's probably something in here. So we have that there. It's tested once. Now it's gone. So let's have a look at the weekly and see what did that. See, so price went here. I mean, this is not a beautiful area by any means. I would consider something a little bit lower, but this is gone now. Tested once. And we know that this is interesting because price bounced at it. Okay, this isn't magic. It's not complicated. You just have to find a turning point in price where price came to. We had a major swing. Price pulled back into an area of value. We attracted some buying, and then price went up and left. Okay, and we form a new high, showing us that we have strength at this area here. And so something in here was capable of doing that. And if we mark this area off here, we have distribution just here. This is the high of the candle, just there. So let's go to the daily chart. We can probably find what that looks like. And here we can see it a lot clearer. Okay, so it looks like that. If we have a look on the smaller time frames, and we have this one here as well, the 2773. We have something down here as well. But I'm thinking that price will probably kind of move up into this area here, potentially this one before it continues lower. So this is a beautiful opportunity to wait for those high prices before engaging in a position lower. We have a look in the 4-hour chart. We have a couple of areas. And we have this. We have this here. Okay, let me remove this one. So we have this one here. We have the beginning of the sell zone, kind of comes up to around here. You can see the price came down. We had the departure, slingshot, and then the release. We had an attempt to move into it. We failed. So about the 2800 area looks quite interesting, I think. And above that, we have this, which I like. Something around here, which looks interesting. The 3222. I don't know if we're going to get all the way up there, but we do also have some smaller areas down up here, which are interesting. Let's remove this weekly area like that. So we do have a couple of areas that we could toy with. Okay, this is an okay area. I have to go to the hourly to find real clarity. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, this up here is also interesting because we managed to move below this low, so we can do something like this. Okay, so we had a point here. I'm just going to mark this off so you can see. So we had price was reacting to this area here. Tested, left. We did manage to hold. Price returned back to this area here, and then we left. So this area here is the one responsible for removing this one. So this one's gone. Price has already been back to this area here. And so this is more interesting just up here. We do have this one here as well, which I like. We could probably box the whole area off just here. Because when price left here, we managed to move below these lows. Price tried to come back to it. We didn't succeed. And so the beginning of the sell zone is from here. Okay, price is still wriggling north. So that'd be an interesting area to have a gander there. Around that price point. So there are a few different areas there that we could watch. Let's have a look at something else. Let me remove some of these. Oops. currencies. Let's have a look here. The Aussie, that's what the currency strength is doing. We have the Canadian dollar, which is strong this session. We have the Japanese yen, which is weak. And the British pound that was strong and is starting to move lower. So we have a few things we could choose from. If we start off with the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Yeah. So this should be moving higher. Let's have a look on the weekly. We're very low, which is good. Which is very good. And we have a very high Japanese yen, which we can see very clearly here. Price is really sold off here, and now we're starting to move away, and now we're potentially going to see these two lines start to move towards each other as price wriggles north from here. Okay, so if we have a look, you can see that we have price kind of reacting down here. We have histogram moving higher. We have price also moving higher, which is good. And we do have a couple of areas here that look interesting. We have this one here. We have this up here as well. Just there. We have a couple of areas. We have a clearer look here. Looking here, I like this. We do have something up here, but there's not a lot of clarity there, so we'll have a look on the smaller time frames. Looks like there's a 4-hour area there. Looks interesting. Let's have a look. So where is the deepest retracement? That's as deep as it got. We went back to here. We do have this. I like this. This is interesting. Kind of mark off the whole area. This is interesting because this is just a really nice cutaway. We zoom out and see if that did anything. Let's have a look, see if it's done anything. No, hasn't really accomplished anything, this one, but it's just a nice, clear pattern. You can see in this area here has been tested. Look at that. This little 4-hour box, and this 4-hour box was drawn when one of these white candles here closed, and so you had all this time to plan this trade. Price poked into it, and then you got about a 15 to 1. And we do have this area just above. This one just here, which I think is equally interesting. This could be an interesting area, so 2 times or so to the size. That's a very interesting area there, the 79.15. This is a Canadian Japanese yen. So that's interesting as well. Good, let's have a look at what else we have. We have Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Let's have a look. Looks like we're having a bit of a retracement there. Let's have a look at that one before we wrap things up. Yes, we're having a bit of a retracement and move higher. So if we have a look at this one, so weekly what's going on, we're very low. So we have this very clear area of supply. We'll move these just here, which is nice. And price left here, we tore through this. This is an area that was historically interesting. We had a bounce. This one kind of held below, but this is the origin of the move, which is like and above that. We have something up here as well. This is probably a clearer area on the smaller time frame, maybe the daily or the 4-hour. So let's have a look. Yeah, here it is. The daily is the one we're looking for. You can see just a very nice clear area. So we have this one here, and we also have this one here, which I like as well. So we have a couple of really nice areas there. We have this one here as well. Okay, so this was good because we had this little point here. Price tested it. We sat down on the area and then we cut through it. So this is also an interesting area. So support becomes resistance. There's also this here, how we had support, resistance, and we have something going on in here, in this area here. Not a very pretty area, but we haven't closed the gap yet here. So this could entertain. Here we could entertain something. Yes, that looks quite interesting, I'd say. Yeah, and then we have this one here, which I think is okay. Small area. Software found it for us. That's what we have there. Good. So a couple of things to keep an eye on. If we have a look at the histogram, oops, see if we can run like a quick scan of everything and find what's going on there. Let's whack this on like that. Let's say show us everything over 10. So if we have any extreme readings, this is Monday, so maybe not. No, let's go to 5. Nothing. 4. No, so there's nothing really going on with currency strength. A little bit. We have the pound franc. So the pound franc and the euro pound. Let's go with the pound franc. Pound franc. So this one is high, so this should be looking ready to move lower. You can see we are kind of approaching some. We did approach this. Not terribly pretty. Maybe it's pretty on a smaller time frame. Move this over here. No, I mean there are better areas above price, so I would wait for price to move higher. We have this, which is probably more interesting on the smaller time frame. Yeah, this is a nice 4-hour area. I like this. Knock off the whole area. This looks interesting. There's nothing here to do, so let's have a look at the euro pound. Euro pound. Where do you go? Here. Yeah. Okay, so this one is euro pound. This is negative. So looking to buy. When the robot was looking at this area here, I let it trade it. I think we got in higher. I think we got in around here or around here. So I let the robot take this. But I'm thinking price could go lower. We do have this here. These are already marked off by the software. We have this one here. We have this one here. There, we have this one here, which has been tested. So price could easily come back up here and have a bit of a bounce. Okay, but this is getting pretty low. So if we have another push lower, price might have a wriggle north from here, depending on the fundamentals. If we see here, we have the mean, the average is a positive number, so this is moving north, as you can see. Okay, so the mean, we have a bias to the upside according to the currency strength. And you can see that pretty clearly here. If we change this to entry time frame, current, good. Let's see if it's the same on the daily. See, the mean is negative, and so here we're looking to the downside. You can see if we did like a best fit, we could probably do something that looks maybe something like this, like a downward sloping line, like so. So we have a negative bias on this time frame. Let's have a look on the weekly. Here we have a very positive time frame. Going back, let's see how many periods we go back. Yeah, I mean we have a lot of buying at this area here. We have a low, high, higher low, price approaching this area of supply. And so if we did a best fit, we'd probably maybe get something like this. Okay, so we do have a kind of an upward bias here, maybe longer term, but we do have currency strength weaning at times when we have prices moving higher. So I'd be more keen on selling up in here somewhere than I would buy lower. Okay, we do have this nice area just here, which I do like. And I do like this one down here, and I also like this one here, which is where price is looking to approach in the relative near future. So if we have a look on the smaller time frames and kind of race back to that high, see if we can find it. Yeah, I don't know if this is the one, but this looks pretty yummy. This, that's It's nice. I really like that one there. Yeah, let's see if that was the one. Yeah, that was the one. Okay, so that's a really nice area of supply just up here. So we have the weekly area, and above that we have nested a daily area at the 96.56. So that's a really nice area, I think, to begin to sell. Also because we have prices moving higher, we have higher highs, but we have the currency strength between these currencies is moving lower. And so I'd be keen to look to move into a short position just down here. Okay, but we'll have to wait and see. Good, well, 20 minutes, I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any questions, send them in via the Discord channel or leave a comment in the message below. And if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe so that you get updates every time we have a new video. Thanks for watching.